Hey guys, it's Steve and welcome to the guide that will help you boost your FPS, even on weaker hardware and old laptops or old desktops. After the new season dropped out, Epic also made some changes to the graphics and that results into some computers needing a few tweaks to their graphics. Also, we will be covering the graphic settings regarding those who just need to boost their FPS and those who want to have a visual advantage over their opponents. Before I start, please consider subscribing to the channel because it's hard for me to have my content shown to other guys and subscribing will really help me. Check the description for timestamps regarding each graphic preset. Okay, let's get to the settings. Now we'll start with display. Prefer either full screen or windowed full screen because it's going to make a small difference to FPS. Full screen might be preferable for better FPS. Windowed full screen is what I use because I tab out of the screen too much and too often, so that suits me best. The graphics, the FPS difference that I have shown is minimal to none, maybe one frame, two, nothing special here. Resolution, you want to keep the max of your monitor. Mine is 1920 by 1080. Frame limit, if you're not playing on a monitor that has more than 60 Hz, better cap it to 60. Graphics, brightness, user interface, contrast, colorblind mode, all these are personal. These are my settings there, 50% brightness, everything else on and off. Now to the most important part, that's why I rushed the others. We want to talk about the graphics. Mine are right now are at low, and I'm going to tell you first about the changes to the graphics. Let's go back to the settings. Yeah, it's here. Now, if you go there at high, let's put all at high or just make this and hit apply and test, you're going to notice that these are actually the Epic graphics before the season dropped. They are equivalent to the Epic settings one patch before the current. So as you see right now, check my weapon. I will tell you later why. If you see right now, there is no reflections or something to my gun or when I'm close to the sun. There is a kind of reflection right there because I'm very close to the sun. I'm aiming very close to the sun. But if you go now to Epic settings, Epic right now is like Epic Plus compared to the previous patch. So only high and Epic changed, everything else is the same, medium and low. Now if you see, there are some particles and a better kind of reflection on my gun. Even if when I have the sun by my side, you can see that there are some reflections on my gun of the sun. And basically the changes from the previous season's Epic is that actually they changed the lighting, the shadows and some fire particles and storm particles. So yeah, it's nothing special, but if you're facing frame rate issues like I did at some point, because I have my computer to do other tasks like programming and stuff, and when I had a virtual machine open at Epic settings, I would have frame drops. And then I would just drop it to high if I didn't want to have frame drops. And actually, as you see, there is not much of a difference. It's only the lighting and the shadows that make some difference. And yeah, that's it for the guys who have some FPS issues after the last patch. So all you have to do is just go back to high because your system might not be strong enough for the new Epic. Now let's go to the section for the guys who need a visual advantage over their opponents. And when I say visual advantage, I mean a competitive advantage by taking advantage of the low graphic settings. First of all, we're going to go to low and we're going to put 3D resolution at 100% and the view distance at Epic. If I hit apply and go test, you see that my screen is actually, I don't know, it's different of course, and that's because we got rid of the shadows, we got rid of a lot of things that could actually make our screen more, I don't know, more full of things. Now it's empty, kind of empty, and we can check the opponents easier, we can spot them easier. You have to check it on a on the map in the Battle Royale, because right there you can't see any differences because my my terrain there is just a flat terrain, nothing extra. Everything would stand out with either high or low settings. So if you want a visual advantage, that's the graphics you want, and that's what most pros actually use when they play Fortnite. A lot of streamers like Cypher PK use this, a lot of guys really. That's why I ended up with the settings to show for the video. And now let's go to the last part of the video, and probably the hardest one, because before I start I want to say that this might not work for all computers, because some computers are too old to handle Fortnite, and it's not like it's a heavy game, but it's not a light as well, so you will need at least a modern computer to play properly. But if you just want to play, or you are saving money to buy a new computer, or whatever, you just want to play for some reason on an old computer because you can't afford one yet, or you don't have a graphics card right now because of the prices with the Bitcoin and all this stuff. I'm not going to talk about this right now. So let's say that you can't play on a modern good build, and you want to play Fortnite on something that's not so good. All you have to do is go put this at low, and there you can play with the 3D resolution, maybe leave it somewhere at 80, because anything less than 80 will just make your game look crap. If you see at 80, there's not a very big difference, but you can see the outlines of my gun, my skin, that it's I don't know. You basically change the resolution so you have less pixels for every model. Let's get it back to 100. Honestly, it's not going to make a huge difference, maybe 5 to 10 FPS. I would leave it at 100, and everything else is at off or low. Just keep at the low preset. Maybe you could tweak the view distance, I don't know, but I had an old laptop and I had everything at low, plus what I'm going to show you now in order to play Fortnite when I didn't have access to my computer. So now let's go to the advanced graphics. VSync is off because it's I don't know how to say it, but you just want it off because it's going to try to cap your frame rate at the max of your monitor. It's like the frame rate limit, well, what it actually does, but it does it through GPU. So you actually, there's one more processor running. This is what VSync is. There's one more processor running and taking space from your GPU and taking I don't know, you could use this part of the graphics card somewhere else, let's say, let's go that way. Motion blur off, I don't think it has a lot of impact on the FPS. Show FPS is just if you want to see your FPS on your screen. Rendering mode, now that's the crucial part. You want to have it at either DirectX 12 or Performance Alpha. Now, DirectX 12 is out of the question because to me personally, when I put it there, I have a lot of stuttering, a lot of frame drops, even freezes sometimes for 1 or 2 seconds, and it's just not good. It doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I have a really good graphics card. It's GTX 1660. So if you struggle still at DirectX 12, yeah, let's get rid of this. You can go to Performance Alpha. When you go to Performance Alpha, it's actually called Performance Alpha, is inside parentheses because it's still being tested, it's not the final version. It will make your game look like the mobile version of Fortnite. It will take out all the unnecessary graphics that your screen has and just keep the basic ones, like the basic animation, the very basic stuff. So you can get a lot of FPS just by turning this on. I can't show you right now how it will look because my game has to be restarted and I don't want to shut the video down right there. Let's leave it at DirectX 12 and one more setting like right there. If you are a guy who has a nice CPU like 6 cores or more, I have AMD Ryzen 3 something, I don't remember the full model name, Ryzen 5, sorry, not Ryzen 3. And this CPU it has 6 cores, so if you have more than 4 cores, you can just check it by searching the model of your CPU online. You want to have it at on because it performs better on multi-core processors. And if you have 4 cores or less, just leave it at on. If you have Intel Core, I don't know, I haven't checked the latest CPU. So yeah, if you, to sum up, if you have 4 and less, just leave it off. If you have 6 and more, leave it on, because it might have a positive effect on your FPS. And use GPU crash debugging, keep it at off, because what it does is to keep, let's say, a log of your GPU actions in case the game crashes, so you can help to see why the game crashed, so the developers can get a feedback of the crash automatically. Keep it off because it will, as you can see there, there will be a performance codes. You don't want that if you are already struggling with this. Latency markers, NVIDIA Reflex and Latency Flash, all off. It's a new technology by NVIDIA, and I think it needs a separate video to be explained. And yeah, that was it. Let me know in the comments if these settings helped, and I'll see you in the next one.